Thank you so much for being here this evening. This topic about responsible AI is a topic which is relatively new, and I will explain what that topic is. But before that, I want to welcome, sir, our panelists on the stage. Thank you so much for taking out time. My name is Alok Lall. I lead the technology team that helps our partners build solutions on top of the Microsoft stack. One example of what you saw was the conversation this afternoon on Azure. So appreciate you staying back for the session. What I wanted to talk about today over the next 10 minutes first is just what is AI, what does responsible AI mean, and how should we think about inclusion in the light of where we are seeing where technology is headed. So as Microsoft, it's our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And therefore, how we should look at technology to empower each of you in the solutions that you're building, in the technologies that you're implementing becomes very crucial. So let's go with what does AI actually mean. To define AI, it is a simple definition which says amplifying human ingenuity with intelligent technology. Now note that this is a definition that we strongly believe in. So AI is not replacing humans, but it is providing a capability to humans to use technology intelligently to be able to arrive at reasoning, which is, should I take path A versus path B? Should I choose this object versus the other? What is the predictability of an incident that is going to happen basis the data that we have? And how should I interact with people? Should I interact with conversation? So should it be chatbots? Should I interact from the perspective of images or videos? And therefore understanding what a human really wants as an outcome. So in order to amplify, there are various core requirements that need to come in, but the core ones are availability of data and availability of compute. Throughout the day, you would have heard the benefits and virtues of cloud computing, and we had several sessions this morning to talk about what are the different possibilities with cloud. As you look at how AI becomes successful, a term that has been around since the year 1958, now is the time that you are starting to see benefits of AI. It's a part of your devices, it's a part of every service that you get from various cloud providers. Now, in order for AI to be successful, it has to be a journey. It cannot be that I have implemented a project, so I'm done with AI. Every time that you get new data, you will need to possibly go back to the drawing board. Possibly you'll need to enhance and enrich your data set so that as and when new data comes in, you're able to then get to a higher degree of accuracy for what you're trying to predict or what you're trying to solve. So AI will have a considerable impact on business and a society. To give you an example, ThyssenKrupp elevators, those that make is a large organization globally that works on elevators, is working from preventive maintenance to preemptive maintenance, which means that they're able to predict when is an elevator going to fail so that they can put in the right resource, fix the right part so that they reduce the cost of service. On the agri side, and you'll hear in just a minute, how is it that you can look at an image of a farmland and be able to predict whether it's ready for harvest or there is a disease that needs to be taken care of. Or if you look at how do it serve society, whether you're able to talk to people in the language of their choice without having to ask them to learn a new language or help them solve problems through simple voice-based interaction. And that truly is what is changing the role of how technology is interfacing with humans. But there is a risk. The risk is associated with the biases that come in. So it's not to say that we are perfect as Microsoft. When we launched a bot called Tao a couple of years ago, that bot became very negative. And we had to pull down the bot simply because the data set that was being used or the stimulus that it was getting was very negative. And so we had to go back and train the system again. There can be biases of various kinds. For example, I may look at only faces that are white male and not look at other genders or other people in other cultures to be search for when I look for a particular object. Or deep fakes, for example. They truly are raising very complex set of questions. And that is why it becomes important for us to think about what do we do? Are we creating tools that benefit us? Or are we creating weapons that can cause significant harm to us? And our President Brad Smith wrote a book called Tools and Weapons. It's available in the market today. It talks about the virtues and the perils of using AI, and therefore there is a need to establish something called responsible AI. The issues associated with responsible AI are as follows. Are we being fair? By virtue of using AI, are we excluding certain kinds of audiences? If I only know a particular language, am I excluding people who do not know a particular language? Something that we used to do, or we do today in our daily lives. Why should systems and computers that are designed to help us cause that kind of a bias? And so 9 out of 10 organizations across these countries, including India, as a survey done by KPMG, says that there are ethical issues, and therefore we should not implement AI, or we should be very careful on how we think about implementing AI. So at Microsoft, we went ahead and implemented these 6 principles. We will ensure that the data privacy and security will exist. We'll ensure that there will be fairness. If the data is not fair, we will go back to the drawing board. We want to make sure it is inclusive. It is transparent to the people from whom I'm taking my data set from. And I will ensure that there is right accountability. And we are the first organization that has gone down into this level of detail of how should we use AI. To give you an example of where we are headed is on where do we look at AI for the perspective of AI for good. How can AI be used to improve, predict or improve climate changes? How can it be used in humanitarian actions? But the part that I am personally passionate about is AI for accessibility. Why is accessibility or encouraging or working with people with disabilities or including people with disabilities matters? If you look at the human population today, more than 1 billion people, so 1 out of 7 people actually have a disability. It may be hidden, it may be temporary, or it could be permanent. So why is that important? This is a quote that I particularly like. It says that if I don't design for accessibility, or if I don't keep accessibility in mind, it means that I'm telling every 5th person or every 7th person that I don't want your business. Or if I'm designing a smart city and I don't care about accessibility, it is saying people with disabilities are not welcome in that city. So it is important that as we think about inclusion, the role of technology in allowing people of all abilities to be a part of the ecosystem that we can all thrive in becomes absolutely important. I want to play a small video to give you an example of how people with disabilities are using technologies to be a part of mainstream life. Can we have the audio up, please?
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind, and that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives. And one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response, and you think, is everyone listening really well, or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see 2 faces, 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised, 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take that correct photo.
Move camera to the bottom right and away from the document.
And then it'll recognize the text. Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis, pizzas, pastas.
Years ago, this was science fiction. I never thought it would be something that you could actually do. But artificial intelligence is improving at an ever faster rate. And I'm really excited to see where we can take this. As engineers, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, building on top of what went before. And in this case, we've taken years of research from Microsoft Research to pull this off.
I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park.
For me, it's about taking that far-off dream and building it one step at a time. I think this is just the beginning.